pace with control of this race. Here comes a run from Davey Hazard. He blocks the 10. Not going to be enough. Ryan Pace is going to win at Talladega.
Trying to hold off Wilson. He's done a good job so far. Wilson, one last desperate attempt to the bottom. He won't get there. Nick Curry wins at Bristol.
Coming out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's in a class of his own right now.
Merzlak, one final time, get around the 55, big time send.
He hits the wall, he hits it, he gets the lead, but can he hang on to it? Oh my goodness, he made it to the line!
Big push down the backstretch is going to give him a good run through the corners.
So a little bit
follow from the 1.
A little bit of contact there for second, but coming to the line, Toby Roberson's going to take home the checkered flag and victory here from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the United States Online Racing League Cup Series live from Anchorage, Alaska at the Anchorage Speedway. As always, folks, I'm your host, Joe TowNetwork. Joining me up here in the booth for the first time in 2023, the one and only Mr. Dewey Schramm. Dewey, welcome back to the broadcast booth here on JTN.
Hello, hello. Glad to be back. Been a little bit.
Whose fault is that?
I played 5th on that one.
All right, it's Dewey's fault, folks. It's Dewey's fault.
Unbelievable.
Already got the chemistry back. Folks, so glad you joined us here tonight for 80 laps around this 2-mile D-shaped oval up here in Alaska, bringing the racing where the fans are here for the USORL. It's going to be a fun night of action, Dewey. This track, of course, races a lot like Auto Club. You can see the similarities just from this camera angle here at the exit of pit road, but this race tonight going to feel like an Auto Club race.
Absolutely. Should be a really fun one. Of course, we had the lights race here on Monday night. Of course, I was a participant in that. I was not very good. However, it was a very fun night. Noah Joyce took the win in that race. So looking for that 31 to be strong again here tonight. With 80 laps and some money on the line, should be a fun one here as this night goes on.
And Dewey mentions that money on the line for drivers is part of our Noble for tonight. You'll see their numbers in the ticker with a little red box around them. Doesn't look like it's coming through as well, but I'll name them for you here. Number 1 is Steven Merzlak. The 4 is Zach Krastowski. The 26 is Henrietta Bordeaux. And the 57 of Tommy Bordeaux. Those 4 drivers all going to be part of that Noble for here tonight to take home a little extra cheddar to hopefully pay for that flight back to the continental United States. Qualifying.
Definitely a bit of a hike up here to Alaska.
I was going to say, what transporter costs have to be outrageous, right?
Yeah. Not a lot of stuff to see between this track and the continental U.S., so gotta pay for it somehow, right?
Gotta pay for it somehow. I'm sure those $5, $10, $15 are really going to help.
Definitely.
Qualifying has already concluded. Let's go ahead and take you through tonight's starting lineup. Lining up on row number 1, it'll be the 88 of Sean Whitehill and the number 11 of Darren Ingram. The 12. Good.
Oh, are we alternating?
Are we all? Go ahead. I didn't know we were all.
Sure. Hey, might as well, right?
Off the cuff. Here we go.
Back in row 2, geez. It is Cam Barnes in the 12, and to his outside, Sean Whitehill's teammate and co-owner, Mikey Murata.
Row 3 sees the 16 of Garrett Sidner and our Fast 29 colleague, Chris Pickett, in the 29.
Back in row 4, one of our Noble 4 contenders, Steven Merzlak, in the 1, and the lights race winner from Monday, Noah Joyce, in the 31.
A Noble 4 lockout on row number 5. It's first the 4 of Zach Krastowski in 9th, and the 26 of Henrietta Bordeaux.
Back in row 6, the last of our Noble 4 contenders, Tommy Bordeaux in the 57, and Jeff Dixon in the 21. And then last on the grid in 13th will be Antonio Ruiz in the 23. So 13 cars tonight. Pretty strong field. A lot of good drivers in here. I'm excited, Joe. How about you?
You sound excited, Dewey.
Absolutely.
We're going to get Dewey loosened up a little bit here in the booth. Get him to loosen up. He's a little tense right now.
I'm excited because I don't have to race.
That's not a good sign. I don't think that's something you should tell the fans at home.
Hey, you know what? Some people may not be as big of fans of certain tracks. I like watching this kind of racing. Certainly like racing it that much, but that's okay. We all have what we like, and we all have what we don't like so much.
We all have what we like, and we all have what we don't like. Well, I like it when folks tune in at home. Again, folks, can't thank you enough for tuning in to JTN here this evening. Make sure if you haven't already, drop a like on the video and subscribe. Again, doing so helps support us so much here on the JoeTow Network, JTN. You can also make sure you're following us on all of our social media at JoeTow Network, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We're also over on JTN2. We're posting all kinds of great short-form content here on the main channel, as well as Chris Pickett tries to do a little grip flip there in that Cintas forward. So again, check out all those things. Like all the videos, even if you hate them. Hit the like button. We appreciate what you do. We hope you like them. But again, cannot thank you enough for tuning in here this evening to our coverage of the United States Online Racing League. Just Cup Series now. It's just Cup Series. I caught myself, Dewey. I caught myself.
You had a name change in between when it was that and what it is now. So
the last time we were here, it was that
Wayback Machine for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, the Wayback Machine to like 18 months ago. Not even.
Yeah.
Not even 12 months ago. My goodness.
Something like that. And that's going to do it here for Happy Hour. And that means it is time to grid up these race cars and get ourselves going. Cannot wait.
Car's getting gridded up here, waiting for outside pole sitter Darren Ingram in the number 11. Then we'll get fired up and ready to go racing here from Anchorage.
There he is.
Drivers, start your engine!
As you hear the command of these 13 fast race cars get fired up and roll off here down the back straightaway, we get ready to go racing here from Anchorage. Dewey, are you ready?
I am ready. Are you ready, Joe?
I am ready. 80 laps here from Alaska. It's going to be a fun show. These drivers are going to be in the low line, the high line. They're going to be up and down the banking all throughout the night, searching for that little bit of extra speed as Sean Whitehill in the number 88 Cheez-It Menards Dodge Challenger leads them to the green, into the start zone. And away we go. Green flag. We're underway here from Anchorage.
Looks like the 12 of Cam Barnes might have spun the tires a little bit on the start, but looks like no biggie for him as he doesn't lose too much time as everybody files themselves down into turn one for the first time tonight. And Ingram with a strong run on the outside will clear that 88 for the lead, and Garrett Sidner already hard on the outside wall.
Sidner was trying to save that car all through turns 1 and 2 there on the opening lap. Managed to do so, but gonna lose a lot of track position here. Already seeing cars navigating these bankings all the way to the wall, down to the apron. Darren Ingram leads lap 1 here from Anchorage.
And you said it, Joe. The 16 definitely saved it, but if you look back at that car, the right side is pretty beat in now, so that's probably going to affect how that car drives for the remainder of this event. Hopefully, there may be a couple of cautions for him to come down and get some of that fixed, but we have a long green run to start this thing out. Not looking good for Mr. Sidner so far.
Well, Garrett, I think, and crew trying to make that car look a little bit more like a Dr. Pepper can, maybe crushing it in a little bit to get it a little closer related to its real-life counterpart. You see Mikey Murata all the way on the outside, going to get to the outside of teammate Sean Whitehill. Whitehill losing 2 spots here early, and Mikey with a big move gets to the inside of Cam Barnes and takes second.
What a move from Mikey up into P2 just like that. Trying to challenge Ingram now for the lead, but Cam Barnes in the 12 has a run of his own on the bottom to try to take that spot back from the 8, and he will here down the backstretch. Side by side as Noah Joyce vaults past the 88 into 4th right behind them.
Noah Joyce talked about it, won the dash race here earlier this week. His teammate Darren Ingram currently the leader in that number 11 Toyota. Those 2 PTR teammates running 1st and 4th up inside the top 5. Cam Barnes now losing some ground, doesn't have the momentum that the outside cars have.
That 12 car is definitely strong on the bottom, but with not as many cars on the bottom, doesn't have as much draft, of course, as the cars on the outside do. And we're going to go 3 wide briefly there for a second into 3, as Noah's going to go by Cam, as does Mikey. Now Whitehill and Merzlak both now coming up on that 12. And look at Jeff Dixon in the 21. He's going to take it 3 wide out of turn 4 as well to try to pick up 5th place.
Lojack Chevrolet was low there through turns 3 and 4. Now to the inside of Steven Merzlak as they're side by side for the lead. Mikey Murata on the outside, Darren Ingram on the inside.
8 car has been a rocket ship since the drop of the green flag. Doesn't quite get the lead there, but he is right there in prime position to get it. And now he's in a PTR sandwich down the backstretch with Joyce right on his back bumper.
Dodge Challenger smushed between a couple Toyotas, something you can only see here in the USORL Cup Series as Noah Joyce takes second with authority off of turn 4.
And that 31, another one of those strong cars here tonight, trying to make it a sweep here in the last frontier as he makes his way down into turn 1 on the low side of Mikey Murata. And there comes Cam trying to get 3rd back from the 8. So these guys have been swapping positions all night so far. One thing to keep an eye on while they do this, how much tire wear do they have compared to the other drivers that maybe aren't battling as hard towards the rear of this field?
Noah Joyce working to the inside of his teammate, looking for the lead there in that McDonald's Toyota. Have to think that there aren't too many of those Mickey D's up here in Alaska, but nonetheless getting some good branding. I think everyone that resides in the state currently packing these grandstands here, Dewey, as Joyce continues to hold on to second, but here comes Cam Barnes on the bottom.
Yeah, the 12, like I said, the 12's got a really strong car on the bottom, but he doesn't quite have it on corner exit as Noah's going to pull back even with him down the backstretch. See if he can try to gain it on corner exit, though, but for now, 31 and the 8 definitely have the edge there in that department. Darren still out front, has led every lap so far as you come to complete lap 7. 3 wide for 3rd. Here comes Merzlak on the bottom.
Merzlak thinks twice about it there. Mikey Murata gets through for the final podium position. Now we're going to look to the outside. Mikey been really comfortable running outside of that darker gray area in the middle of the track where most of these drivers have kind of made their residence throughout this race. Another player coming to the front of the field. You see that TWB blue and white Mustang of Tommy Bordeaux. He's starting to work his way up after starting all the way back on row 6.
Yeah, slowly but surely starting to pick off those positions as back up front, Joe, we got a battle for the lead. Looks like Cam Barnes has started to get some better corner exits and for a brief moment pulls even with the 11, but we'll file back in line for now. But that 12, definitely one of the stronger cars so far tonight.
And that's just the weakness of the inside line, right? You can't keep your momentum up. Cam going to go for a slider here off of 2. He clears them, but Darren Ingram going to look back to the inside. Not enough momentum from the 11. Cam Barnes moves to the lead for the first time off of turn 2.
Great move there for the 12, but here comes the 11 again. He's going to fling it down to the bottom. Doesn't quite have the charge, and that's going to be our first lead change of the night. Cam Barnes in the 12 leads it here, completing lap number 9. So the top 3 are breaking away a little bit, Joe. Darren, Noah, and Cam start to pull away from the remainder of the field, at least for now. Merzlak sort of leading that second pack and also leading the No Bull right in front of Tommy in the 57. So 4th and 5th, that's your battle for the No Bull prize as the top 3 go at it for the overall race lead.
Yeah, those No Bull cars marked by the red roof numbers and red spoilers. It was a pay-in event, so you had to pay in a little bit to become part of that event. One thing we didn't get a chance to talk about, Mikey Murata. He's fallen outside of the top 5 back into... Oh, he's fallen back to about 8th position, 7th that time at the line. Holding off Zach Krastowski right now in the 4th. So the two, Mikey Murata and Sean Whitehill, those two challengers struggling here as we're about halfway through a fuel run.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about a bit earlier about tire wear. Perhaps the 8 and the 88 may have worn out their stuff a bit quicker than those in front of them. And of course, as the run goes on, that can become more and more detrimental. So at the very least, we know that those two cars are really fast on the short run. But if you have a longer run like this towards the end of the race, not sure if they might be up there in contention or not, but we'll see.
Traditional thought, though, is if you run that outside line, you don't use up your tires as much, right, Dewey?
That would make sense. A lot of guys tend to do that. And of course, in real life, we saw that just last week between the Xfinity races and the Cup races. But at the same time, the Xfinity guys are able to get their cars totally down under the apron in turns 3 and 4. So you never really know what to expect out of this track sometimes. It still makes me sad that they're tearing that place down. Of course, this is a very close replica of Auto Club races, very, very similar to it. So you can really use Auto Club to try to gauge how a race like this will go. Hopefully, for this version, of course, will live on in the virtual world and over in iRacing. Long live Auto Club.
That your Viva la Resistance moment.
Yeah, pretty much.
Folks, again, can't thank you enough for tuning in here tonight. This, of course, is Anchorage, a clone of the Auto Club Speedway. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you click the like button on the video and subscribe. Also, be a friend, tell a friend about our streams. Always appreciate it if you can. Share what we're doing here on JTN. Know it's a late night here on a Saturday. Know you got a lot of things going on, and can't thank you enough for tuning in here to JTN. Make sure you're also following us on all of our social media at JoeTowNetwork, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We ask you to do a lot. We appreciate any little bit you can. Again, it does mean so much. It does help support us here on the JoeTowNetwork, JTN. Any little bit that you can do. And as always, a big thank you has to go out to the folks here at the USORL, Zach Krastowski, his entire team, for bringing us out to the track here tonight. Is Tommy Bordeaux looking to the inside of Noah Joyce down into 3, or into 1, rather.
Is for 3rd place, so put that 57 up into the podium here on lap number 15. Started towards the rear of the field, but has methodically worked his way now up through this field. And now, as the run goes on and the tire wear starts to become a bit more evident, you can see this pack starting to spread out a whole lot more than where they were in the first 4 or 5 laps. So Cam is now a couple car lengths on Darren a few to Tommy, and so on and so forth. So I'd expect that will continue until we have our first round of green flag stops tonight.
Let's see our colleague Tommy Bordeaux in the 57 sitting there in 3rd.
Looks like Garrett Sidnor has just retired from the race, Joe.
That's unfortunate. I know that team was looking forward to...
He wrecked out of turn 4, and he grip flipped and barrel rolled through the grass. We're going to have to get another look at this. That was a huge wreck.
And I lost feed, Dewey.
Oh, no. Going radio style.
Going radio style. Go radio style.
Yeah, a bit of a replay, or radio replay, I guess. Garrett brushed the wall out of turn 4, spun it down into the inside grass, and the left side of his car just lifted up off the ground and barrel rolled a good 4 or 5 times. And that destroyed that 16 machine. So our first retiree of the night, fortunately, is that 16 of Garrett. So we're down to 12 cars remaining here in the field tonight for the remainder of this race. Cam Barnes has increased his lead on Darren Ingram by a couple tenths of a second. Tommy trying to challenge the 11 for second. Doesn't quite have the run quite yet to do it.
Drivers, to your cars.
Jeff Dixon has worked his way now into the top 5, finding himself solidly in 4th place as they run right now. Always a threat to win week in and week out. One of the best at saving tires and fuel in this league. So anytime you have a fuel strategy race, always look out for that 21 to be a contender for the victory.
The back live here working lap 19, now 20 as they cross the line here. Right, Dewey?
Yes, sir.
Garrett Sidner, of course, has dropped out of this race. You won't see his name on the pylon because of the cameras crashing, so unfortunate there. But Sidner out of this thing after a big flip off of turn number 4 after making some contact with the grass. Grass didn't feel too wet when we were doing our track walk earlier this evening, Dewey, but apparently some issues down there. Maybe they hit a ditch.
I did not know you could grip flip on grass, but in this game, but I guess now you've proven that you can. Talking to Garrett in the chat, though, he said he got a bit of engine damage from that hit to the wall on lap 1, so he was already down for the count, unfortunately. So rough go for the 16. Hopefully, you can do a bit better next week. As with that lap completed, we are now already 1/4 of the way through this event. 20 down, 60 to go, as the 12 of Cam Barnes continues to pace this field, which is really starting to spread out now.
Expecting hands to start being thrown out of windows, not at each other just yet. Save that for after the race, but Darren Ingram going to be the first taker on the pit lane, the number 11. Steve Merzlak as well, and the 1 also going to come down. Ooh, Antonio Ruiz going around, saves it, and that's Sprite Cranberry
Nice
Toyota.
Mikey Murata, Zach Krastowski also making their way down pit road. So 4 or 5 cars, almost half the field coming down this time by. So would expect the leaders to come in either next time or the time after that.
I'd expect most of them this time, Dewey. I don't think they can go too far longer. Cam Barnes going to stay out. Okay, they're all going to just... No, Joyce is going to come down. Appreciate you, Noah. The rest of these leaders, they're going to stay out another lap. Tires are going to be a thing.
Indeed they are. I think this is going to be one of those races, perhaps, where maybe you could make it a bit longer on fuel, but if your tires were out enough, it just might not be worth your while to do it. With the amount of time that you'd lose. As looks like Sean Whitehill also stayed out that time, so it looks like 4 or 5 cars have yet to come down the pit lane. See if the leaders come down this time. Am no, Tommy no, and Jeff no. All 3 of them stay out again.
All right, so they lied to us when they told us they could go 22 laps. They can go longer than that.
Let's hit the completion of 23. So at the very least, you can make it 23 laps. So it looks like by that calculation, it should be about a 3-stop race tonight on fuel.
These drivers are hoping they can make it 24, Dewey. Because if they can only make it 23, they're running out now. That wouldn't be good.
Would not be good if they run out down the backstretch. You'd lose a whole lot of time that way.
It looks like Cam's coming this time.
And there goes that 12, peeling off to the bottom. Tommy Bordeaux will stay out. Jeff Dixon will join the 12 on pit road. So the 57 pick up a bonus point there for leading a lap tonight.
In-race reporter Garrett Sidner says 23 to 25 laps.
I would expect the 57 then to probably come in this time by.
I would hope so.
On the high end of that spectrum there. Darren Ingram and Steven Merzlak right with each other coming out of turn 2. This will probably be could be the battle for the lead perhaps if they can leapfrog the 12 and the 21. Tommy Bordeaux makes his way down pit road. He will give up the lead. Darren and Steve will unlap themselves here on the front stretch.
Here they come out in relation to the 12 and the 21. Going to be looking pretty good. Merzlak with a big move there to the inside of Ingram. They're going to be side by side now down the back straightaway.
Looks like Noah Joyce is going to get in front of Jeff Dixon as well. So I think this is showing now that pitting on the low end of that little window could be beneficial. Mentioned how much time you lose with old tires compared to those newer ones. Looks like court pitting might be the way to go tonight, Joe.
That's really what it has to come down to, right?
Looking like it, as Ingram and Merzlak now find themselves second and third, but look at them rocketing by the 57 now through turns 1 and 2. So now there's that huge gap between Steven and Darren, which is the battle for the lead, and everybody else. So a great job by the 1 and the 11 to pit when they did and give themselves the race lead and a whole lot of real estate over the rest of this field.
Now, the only thing I can think of, especially with Tommy in the 57, is maybe, can you save 5 laps of fuel, Dewey? Is that something that we've ever seen here?
If there's anybody that I think can do it, it's Jeff Dixon. I don't know if you could save 5, but I think maybe 2 or 3 is possible.
Over the course of the rest of the race, though, is what I'm saying. You don't need 5 this run.
I don't know if you can save that much, though. But again, if it is possible,
you think 21 can do it?
21 as the guy to do it, yeah. Darren still leads by just a hair over Merzlak as we complete lap 27. Again, the amount of time that those two have back to third place Cam Barnes is such a huge difference. And you remember Cam ended up leading a majority of that early run, but by staying out those extra 2 or 3 laps, lost all that extra time to Darren on those newer tires. There's your difference so far.
Folks, we got some more great racing action coming up for you this week on JTN. Starting off tomorrow night, Fast Renegade Cup Series debuts at the Portland International Speedway road course out there. 9 p.m. Eastern Time will kick off our coverage tomorrow night, March 5th. Then March 7th, this is the Hobo Racing Cup Series from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Coverage beginning 8:50 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. And then the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series returns to JTN's airwaves Thursday night, 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time from Phoenix. Those are your upcoming races on JTN, presented by our friends at Scheme Haven, which, Dewey, you got more about.
Yeah, Scheme Haven is a brand new site of mine I put up about a month and a half, 2 months ago. Basically trying to create the most comprehensive paint scheme archive possible. Putting a lot of effort and work into this project. It's a really exciting time for me. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I finally started to put it all together. And we're slowly but surely starting to build up the database of all the cool images and paint schemes that you guys all, of course, I'm sure remember from your youth, younger days. Check it out at schemehaven.com if you'd like to learn more.
And again, those are your upcoming races here on JTN.
Good slate of races on there. Portland's a pretty cool track. Can't wait to see how that goes.
It's a new version, too.
Yeah.
New version, so they're debuting it. They'll be releasing it to the public afterwards.
Bomb Squad always puts on a good show, of course.
That'll be a good one from Phoenix. And Hobo at Vegas. I know there's a lot of drivers disappointed with how their race at Auto Club went this past Tuesday night. Going to be looking to put on a great show here this week on Tuesday. So again, those races and much, much more are going to be live for you here on JTN. As Steven Merzlak looking to the inside of Darren Ingram here off the channel.
Yeah, well, look no further. Cam Barnes has caught this top 2. So here's the tire wear pendulum starting to swing the other way as Cam lost that time, but now that the tires of the 1 and the 11 are wearing more, newer tires on the 12 are starting to take over. Just like that, Cam Barnes now right back up in contention again.
Welcome in, Magoo. Also, Garrett reporting that Mikey Murata has lost the engine. You can see that. Mikey 3 laps down right now and continuing to lose laps, so he is out of this race after qualifying up in the 4th spot here this evening.
Tough break there for the 8. Looks like he dropped a piston, perhaps, on that number 8 Dodge Challenger, so a tough way to end the night for Mikey, but promising nonetheless, knowing that he's got that much speed. Hopefully he can have a better run at it next week. as Cam Barnes has cleared Merzlak for that runner-up spot. Both of them still trying to chase down that 11 of Darren Ingram, who's probably been the fastest car now so far in tonight's race. Side by side for the lead. Here comes Cam.
And Barnes on the inside, going to get one more dive here down into turns 3 and 4. Darren going to cover it there. 11 car taking a low line through the corner off before they go. See Steven Merzlak creeping into the picture in that one. Was able to take a little bit of a higher line. Got out of the dirty air behind those cars. Swerves left, swerving right. Trying to find a way to get even with the quarter panel on the 12 car. Cam Barnes not able to do it that time. And they drive back into one.
And Stevens trying to win his second race of the weekend. He picked up the win last night in the ARCA event south of the border at Aguas Calientes. Trying to make it a win in consecutive nights for that one machine. Still got plenty of time to try to get by these top two.
Ian Barnes with another look to the inside here, off of turn number 2, looking to try to get clear, and he does. Cam Barnes back to the lead here, closing in on the second leg of green flag pit stops.
Great move there by the 12, just by the slimmest of margins, was able to clear that 11. 12 will take the race lead back. But yeah, you mentioned it. You want to be up front when these green flag stops start. Okay, I just can't speak anymore. Want to be out front when those green flag stops start. There we go.
I think that you want to be up front too.
Of course. Still quite astonishing, honestly, how far these three have pulled away now that Cam has caught top 2. It's a ways back to Jeff Dixon in 4th. Noah running just behind him in 5th, and it's another ways back to Tommy in 6th. Though the longer this race goes on, the more and more this field continues to spread themselves apart.
Got a couple cars sound like they're saving for Zach Krastowski, 23, Antonio Ruiz. Thought I heard some clutch in there with those cars. Might be trying to save a little bit of that field. 21, 31 also starting to save. Haven't really seen that out of our leaders just yet.
Yeah, Cam is actually starting to pull away from these guys.
That 12 car is just better.
Yeah, I think that 12 car definitely the best car. I think it's been a battle really between the 11 and 12 for the best car tonight, and consequently for the lead, as they've led almost every lap so far tonight. So fitting that it's those two still up at the front, but I think the 12 is starting to get the edge over the 11 in that department.
Yeah, save for the few during that green flag pit cycle where they had come down and, you know, guys like Tommy Bordeaux stayed out to lead a lap. So, again, just kind of seeing how the tire game, pit stops, short, long, all those types of things, how that game's starting to play out. We expect these guys here in a couple of laps to come down and take their second set of Goodyear Racing Eagles, put some Sunoco Racing fuel, and load them up and go for another run as we're approaching quickly halfway here from Anchorage.
Yeah, this race has really flown by so far, Joe. No cautions so far. Been a green flag race all the way so far. Roughly 36, 37 seconds a lap. So, yeah, it's been a very, very quick event so far. And just like that, if you blink an eye, we're all of a sudden halfway down, halfway to go. Looks like no takers on pit road this time. So I think first car Cam, I think hit around lap 21, 22. So I'd expect them around 43, 44 to see this next round of green flag stops begin to happen. '26 of Henrietta Bordeaux comes in a couple laps early. She's down on pit road here, coming to lap 41. She'll lose a lap.
This Baskin-Robbins Chevrolet team, they have not had the night they were looking for as being part of that Noble 5. 4 tonight.
Great looking car, though.
I could go for some ice cream right now.
You and me both.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite?
Mint chocolate chip guy myself, personally.
Mint
Can't
chocolate
go wrong
chip.
with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't peg you for that kind of ice cream.
What'd you peg me for?
Well, I don't know. You seem like a classic. Like you love a good vanilla ice cream.
Vanilla does go pretty hard. If I had my choice of any flavor in the world, mint chocolate chip is the one I'd go for. 26 makes her way off of pit road. I'm sure she'll have some ice cream after the race here tonight. And she'll go another lap down there to the 12 of Cam Barnes.
Zach Krastowski also now on the pit lane.
Noah Joyce as well. Merzlak is in. Ingram all down pit road. So Cam briefly out on his own.
On Cam
Stay
Barnes
out
in
another
this.
lap.
Cam Barnes in this 12 car. I'm trying to.
Sorry about that. Jeff about drifted it all the way off the banking and down on the pit road. I thought he was going to spin out. but a great save there by the 21 as he'll start his second pit stop of the night.
One car, Merzlak gets off a pit lane before the 11 of Darren Ingram, so Steven able to hop that number 11 car here on the pit cycle.
We'll see if these two end up cycling ahead of Cam or behind Cam this time. But the 12 will elect to stay out another lap. I'd expect he'll probably come in next time by. Jeff makes his way out of pit lane after completing his stop.
Furco in chat.
The takers.
Furco in chat saying he's going to get some ice cream and a cherry pie.
Sounds pretty good to me. Cannot go wrong with that.
Oh, Cam.
Oh. It just tapped the wall there out of 4. So he stays out another lap. I think after hitting the wall like that, though, you've got to come in this time. I don't think you can risk that again. As Antonio coming down pit road, coming in a bit hot, but looks like he got it slowed down enough to not get a speeding penalty here.
I'm going to lose a lot of time here. Like he's coming to pit lane this time around. Slow off of turn 4. Going to take that left-hand turn down the pit lane. So that'll give way to Tommy Bordeaux. He'll take over the lead. Tommy, the first of those drivers, I think, trying to make it the long game, and maybe just find a way to make it on 2 pit stops here tonight.
I'm not sure about that one, honestly. If the window is about 25 or 23 to 25 laps, even if you make it 25 each time, that still only puts you at 75 laps. So I don't know.
Well, if you
can save 5 at any point.
I feel like you can save 2 laps in a run.
It might be possible. I'd actually be curious to see if anybody can pull it off, because I think it would make for a very interesting storyline towards the end of this thing.
If Tommy can get to, let's say, 52 coming to 53 down pit lane, do you think he can make it on that one more stop?
I think if he can make it to 52 or 53, it's definitely possible. If he can save that much this time, that would make it so he has to save a lot less the next time.
Right.
As Whitehill makes his way down pit road. So I am curious for sure to see if that 57 can pull it off. As Steven and Darren will be unlapping themselves here.
See, that's the other thing. I mean, he's going to lose a lot of time to these guys on the new tires, so he's kind of got to put up a little bit of a stink with them. Of course, Steven and Tommy on the same team with their Fords. Tommy Bordeaux racing Fords. Glad to see that team pick up the blue oval once again this year.
Yeah, great team to be a part of. Of course, I run part-time for that team as well. Great group of guys to be around. Always fun. Always very helpful when it comes to setups and things like that. Couldn't ask for better teammates, personally. And the 57's going to
Yeah.
slow down. And there he comes. So he made it to 49, coming to 50.
I
So if
don't
he
think
makes
he. Yeah.
Yeah, so if he makes it 25 next time, that only puts him at 74. So I don't think you can save 6 laps of fuel here.
No,
I
it's
think it's
gonna.
going to be a 3-stopper regardless of what you do.
So now the question becomes, how much fuel do you have to take, right? Like that's kind of where you start to sit now. As Cam Barnes lost a lot of time through that pit cycle. Fell all the way back behind Noah Joyce, behind Jeff Dixon, Darren Ingram, Steven Merzlak. I think that's the product of those new tires. Those guys all came before the 12, and they were able to cycle up way ahead of him.
And Tommy's going to lose a whole bunch of time as well, as he's now been passed for the lead by Merzlak. He's just now coming off of pit road. And you see that pack of 3 in the trial, that Zach, Antonio, and Sean. I think they may end up passing Tommy as well here. I'm not sure.
And Tommy coming off the pit lane right now. We look at Zach Krastowski in the number 4. So Steven Merzlak currently leading our Noble 4 drivers here tonight in that number 1 car.
And leads the race now as well.
Everything cycles on through.
As we now hit 30 laps to go, so we're in the back half of the race pretty solidly now. Been green all the way, been great battling so far, especially right after the drop of the green. And it looks like Tommy did end up coming out in front of that pack of 3, so the 57 cycles out to 6th place.
And he's comfortable enough, too.
Agreed. I think he's going to need some help, though, if he wants to end up in front of Steven for that Noble prize, but...
He's going to need a little bit of help. Probably a lot of it.
And with the way this is shaken out, he's a little off strategy. I don't think he can stay out now as long. I'm not really sure, but...
I think you have to do it again.
You really have no choice now. Like, once you commit to a strategy like that, you have to keep going with it. Otherwise, you're going to lose even more time than you would committing to it. But I think that 57, at some point, is definitely going to need a caution to come out here. But field's pretty spread out, and it's been green all the way, so I don't think we even have a guarantee of that happening, Joe.
No, and the way these guys have been racing each other, I mean, we talk about all the great leagues we have here on JTN and how good they are and how courteous they are with each other, and you're seeing that again here tonight with USORL. That's why if you want to get involved in the action, you can go to their website. We got it linked down in the video description below on how you can learn more to sign up here and race with USORL here on Saturday nights in the Cup Series after kind of running some races on Monday nights with lights, or ARCA races Friday night, or Super Speedway races now later Friday night. But again, a lot of really skilled drivers willing to give each other room but still race each other hard, which is a really hard balance to strike. And again, you're kind of seeing that here again this evening as Jeff Dixon is still riding the high line here through turns 3 and 4, and making up ground pretty successfully in that 21 Chevrolet.
Yeah, the high line, if you can get it right, can be very, very beneficial. And Jeff making good use of that so far. And he's now caught up with the 1 and the 11. We have a 3-headed horse near at the front for the lead, but a bit further back, Noah Joyce in that 31 is starting to reel those 3 in. So we may have a 4-way battle here pretty soon, Joe.
That'd be pretty fun, wouldn't it? Anthony, if you want to join in and you want to race online, you can check out the USORL website. We have it linked down in the video description below. When you go to their site, there'll be a link to get in contact with the admins as Darren Ingram takes the lead down into 1. Side he was done riding there behind the 1 as Steven Merzlak. Almost some contact there off of turn number 2. Things heating up here at the front of the field. But you can check out that link. We got it in the video description below. There's a sign-up link on their website. Go check it out, usorl.weebly.com.
A near miss there for Steven and Jeff as the 21 is just ripping the top side down right now. Really fun to see him pull that off. side by side for second, and Jeff will clear here on the front stretch. So move that 21 now to the runner-up spot. And despite losing the lead, of course, Steven still leading the Noble here. So still in contention for some cold, hard cash here in the last frontier of Alaska. And now Jeff makes his move to the bottom, trying to take that lead away. Can't quite get the run, though. Got a Chevy, a Ford, and a Toyota in this top three. The manufacturers well represented here at the front of the field. And just as I said before, Noah Joyce has caught these top three. And look further back, Cam Barnes in the 12 is also starting to catch up. We may have a 5-car battle up at the front here soon.
Well, if you're Cam Barnes in the 12, I don't think you can afford to stay out as long as compared to these other drivers as you did the last run, right? It did not work for Cam, as you see Jeff Dixon continuing to rip the fence here through turns 3 and 4, not afraid to get the right side of that race car all the way against that dark, blue-green wall there in the corner. Darren Ingram still leads in the number 11. Dixon second. Steven Merzlak, Noah Joyce, Cam Barnes top 5 now all within the frame as we close in on the third leg of green flag pit stops.
Now, going back to Cam's strategy, I think it could be worth it to stay out because, as we see, the longer the run goes on, tire pendulum swings in Cam's favor. But what it's going to come down to is when these guys come down pit road, are there going to be enough laps remaining in the race for Cam to make that ground back up and pass these guys? If the answer to that question is yes, then I think he could stay out longer the way he did last time. But if there aren't going to be enough laps, I think it'd be more beneficial for Cam to make his way down when most of these leaders do. Should be fun to find out either way, as we'll hit 20 laps to go this time by. So the last fourth of the event coming up, as all 5 of these guys now under a blanket at the front of this field. Which one of them will take home the victory?
Who takes home the victory tonight in the USORL Cup Series from Anchorage, Alaska? Coming up on lap traffic, that's Henrietta Bordeaux in the 26. Currently running back in the 11th position.
That'll put her a lap down, so if we do get a caution, that will give her the lucky dog as Jeff gets held up by her just a little bit. He caught her on corner exit. Of course, she's trying to stay out of the way, but with them exiting high out of turns 3 and 4, only so much he can do in that situation. So for a brief moment, Darren has a bit of breathing room, but I don't think that breathing room will last much longer.
Cam Barnes able to make his way around Noah Joyce in the 31 Toyota.
That is for 4th. Hopefully for Henrietta, she can try to stay in this group and catch the draft of that 31. So if they come up and lap anybody else, she can try to pass those cars as well to stay in that lucky dog position.
And now clear Steven Merzlak for 3rd.
Right on the bumper of Jeff now as well. That 12 is really coming on now. To go this time by. Closing time here. We'll see when these guys end up electing to come down pit road.
Do you want to sing that song?
Particularly.
Okay.
I'm not a big singing guy like that.
Jeff Dixon hot on the tail of Darren Ingram in that Alpine Stars Toyota. Ingram still leading. He was asking Bristol earlier this evening what sponsor they should wrap that car with, as to which would get him more TV time. And Bristol's response was, if you lead, you get the most TV time. And Darren tonight, well, he's done the most leading in that number 11 Toyota. Still out in front of this field. Grabbed the lead on the initial start of this race. Has not looked back. See them passing Zach Krastowski there in the number 4. Zach coming off the pit lane after making his final pit stop. Gonna look to gain some time by pitting before these leaders.
Interesting call there by the Ford to come in and pit when he did. So he'll lose that time for now, but we'll see if it pays off after the leaders come down. As looks like Noah in the 31 is coming down pit road. So there's the first of our leaders, the first domino to fall. 31 makes his way down on the pit road for his final stop of the evening. Henrietta Bordeaux also coming out of pit road. Time will tell when these top four decide to come on in. And I think at this point, if you're Cam, if Darren and Jeff decide to come in at the same time, I think he should as well.
I think Cam's got the best car heads up.
Agreed.
We saw that the opening run.
And here comes the 11.
Ingram to pit,
And the
Merzlak
1.
as well.
So the 12 and the 1, or the 12 and the 21, both stay out.
Numbers are fun here in the USORL, aren't they? 12 and 21 battling for the lead. 1 and 11 coming down pit lane together. As Cam Barnes will take it off of turn number 2. Jeff Dixon slots back into second. So Dixon able to lead a lap there after the 11 car pit. Let's see when Barnes decides to come down pit lane. And he'll come this time, and so will Jeff Dixon.
Here's a number for you. 1, the amount of spiders that I've killed while commentating a race.
Is that tonight?
Indeed.
Why are there spiders in the booth here?
I don't know.
Aaron Ingram wins the race off pit road between him and the 1.
Don't tell Garrett that he's not a fan of those creepy crawlies.
We will not tell Garrett. Noah Joyce there in the 31. We're going to keep our eyes on this car, see where he slides in. Or cycles.
And Noah Go ahead.
I was going to say, see where he cycles through, but these two still out in front of him and are going to be up to speed off of turn 4, so I don't think Noah's really going to gain anything by pitting that lap or two before these other drivers. As Steven Merzlak now to the outside of Darren Ingram, and will complete the pass and get around that 11 car, see where they cycle through, because here come the 21 and 12 off of pit lane.
I think the 1 and the 11 are going to end up in front here, Joe. They're still getting up to speed. They're going to fly by those two here. Here they go. Well, maybe not.
They'll get by.
I think Jeff's going to have a harder time catching up, but I think Cam might be able to latch onto the back of this draft and already be there. Yeah, Cam is definitely in the draft of the 31 still, but I don't know if the 21 is close enough to the 12 to stay in the group. And Sean Whitehill in the 88 is on pit road, making his last stop of the night.
Tommy Bordeaux's still out on track.
Yeah, I think the 57 and Chris Pickett as well in the 29. 2 cars yet to make their way down pit road here for the last time. $12 to go at the line. Not much time left for these guys to make their moves.
There you see Tommy. He's your leader by about 17 seconds over the 29 of Chris Pickett. There's Chris sitting in second.
And it's another ways back to this group of 5, as Jeff did stay himself in this group, as Cam has also gotten by Noah for 3rd. And there you see Jeff running the top side again. He's the only one in this group that's been running up there tonight, and it's definitely been beneficial for him. Didn't gain that much that time, but you saw in that previous run, it definitely can work.
It can work, but you need it to work a little bit more because you're sitting 5th. You got 4 ponies in front of you, and the trophy here with 10 laps to go from Anchorage.
Oh no! Contact, and around goes the 11 of Darren Ingram hard into the outside wall. One of the dominant cars of the night spins out, and that's going to be our first caution of the night here on lap 70. Wow. You're wondering if this thing was going to go green all the way. Evidently, it does not. And now a lot of rear end damage for that 11 machine.
Evidently, no. You saw it live. Let's get you a look at it from above. Gonna be contact between the 12 and the 11 here. Darren just goes down. I don't know if he was getting loose there, Dewey. I don't know if you could tell from any of these angles that we're showing to the fans at home, but looked like Darren just kind of drove down into the 12. Don't know if he was getting loose. Obviously, I don't think you'd intentionally spin yourself out, right?
Yeah, no, with how good that 11 car has been in the position he was in, he had no reason to, just say, I'm going to spin myself out on purpose now. I think it was either him getting loose or maybe trying to file in behind the 12, but didn't quite have it cleared yet to do that. So he'll have quite a bit of damage now to repair. And that's a huge break as well for Tommy Bordeaux in the 57, as he had yet to come down pit road as well as Chris Pickett. So now those two can come down pit road and make their final stop. And if the other leaders stay out, those two are going to have fresher tires than anybody else in the field for this last run of the finish.
Well, it's going to be an interesting one. And while we wait for everyone to come down the pit lane, let's get a word from our friends with AutoSim 2. Have you ever wanted to manage your own racing team? Or what if you could go back in time to see if a particular season could have finished differently? Well, folks, have no fear, because AutoSim 2 is here. With fully customizable roster files, you can create your own world or try to recreate the past. Heck, you could even try to predict the future through AutoSim 2's Sim Mode. Don't like the passive approach? Well, then get more hands-on in Owner Mode, where you decide who drives your cars and what companies will sponsor them. Down on your luck? Well, then scout some new talent that will get you to the top. Already super successful? Try moving up the ladder or expanding to truly solidify your racing empire. However you want to play, AutoSim 2 has you covered and is now available for purchase through the Steam store for $9.99. Now go make your mark and build your legacy in AutoSim 2. So leaders coming down the pit lane here. Everyone electing to come down pit road, save for a few. Sean Whitehill, Zach Kristowski, but they're both going to get a lap back here.
I believe Sean was the lucky dog position, and Zach elected to take the wave around.
Oh, so then kind of puzzling if Sean was the lucky dog if he didn't come down pit lane. I thought, come get fresh tires, even if he only ran a lap or so.
I think he only pit like 2 laps before the cautions. Maybe he didn't think.
Yeah, I'd still want him.
But everybody else on pit road, or maybe Antonio was the lucky dog. I'm not 100% sure. But the 23, not the strongest of runs, but of course an opportunity here to make up some ground at the tail end of this race. They're 3 wide off of pit road. Cam and Steven, I believe, both got by Chris there.
Yeah.
Picking up some valuable spots here.
Looked like Cam was able to get it as well. They'll get second choice here.
And it looks like Darren's pit crew in the 11 got a lot of that damage repaired.
Yeah, spoiler's still a little up there now.
Definitely better than it was a moment ago.
It's very true. It's very true.
So I believe we're going to be choosing here this time. That's going to give us 7 laps to go on the restart.
So again, here in the USORL, we do the modified cautions where we don't have an actual pace car. Leader's just going to set the pace speed. We also have a choose cone, which you'll see coming up on the track here. So Bordeaux going to take the bottom. Cam Barnes is from second, takes the bottom as well.
Steven goes up top. Chris to the bottom. Noah top. Jeff top. Darren top. Antonio top. Sean bottom. That is interesting. Oh no, all the lucky dogs or the wave rounds start at the top. So only 3 cars are starting on the bottom compared to 8 on the top. So in terms of drafting, bottom might be a bit of a disadvantage here for this restart.
Getting ready to go back racing here. Tommy Bordeaux with control into the restart zone, and back away we go. Green flag once again here from Anchorage. 7 laps to go.
And the 12 of Cam Barnes got a really poor restart there. You saw on the initial start he didn't get going that well either, but we know that car is fast, so even with the slow restart, he should rocket right back up to the front here in just a moment.
Joyce working to the inside of Steven Merzlak for the second position. Again, the Noble on the line, too, as the 57 of Tommy Bordeaux currently leads the race and leads that running between those 4 drivers. Here comes Noah Joyce on the bottom. McDonald's Toyota there. Tommy Bordeaux to the outside trying to fend him off, and Joyce going to be able to clear the 57 and takes the lead for the first time tonight off of turn 4.
And at the line is going to be the 31. And look at Jeff Dixon taking it 3 wide for the lead here to turn 1 with a huge head of steam up on the top.
Dixon has been able to roll the top better than anyone else here tonight. Still up there. See Steven.
Look at him up there.
Merzlak made a dicey move to get in front of the 12, and big momentum gets Jeff Dixon a big lead here down the back straightaway.
That was absolutely insane. The amount of time that he just gave, but he's in the wall this time into turn 3, and he's going to lose all that time right back.
Now that he's got the lead, do you think spotter crew chief might be telling him, hey, you can get off the wall a little bit?
Yeah, it looks like he is. He's trying to break the draft here down the front stretch. 5 laps to go here at Anchorage. And I just can't get over how much time he gained from flinging it up there like that. That was awesome.
Antonio Ruiz towards the back trying to do a similar thing with that 23 car.
Well, like I said earlier, the 21's really been the only guy that can do that. That thing is just so souped up, and he's really the only car that's set up to be able to run up top like that. And he used it to his advantage as he'll break the draft here once again down the front stretch. 4 to go as Noah's trying to peek underneath the 1 for that 4th spot. Top 6 are pulling away from the rest of the field as Darren's trying to stay in line with 5 cars ahead of him with that damage he just suffered in that accident. It looks like right now, can anybody else catch Jeff Dixon?
3 laps to go this time at the line for Jeff Dixon after a power move on the outside. Got driver 21 to the point. He's looking to fend off some hungry cats behind him. 3 laps to go here from Alaska.
That Tommy's pulling back in. He's right there. Cam is there as well, right behind him. As the 12 sends it in, but got a tad bit loose. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it stick out of turn 2. He does. Side by side for second down the backstretch. Merzlak's going to work with his teammate on the high side, Tommy, to help him keep that spot. The 12 is so strong on the bottom and quarter entry, he's got a chance to make this pass anyway.
Well, and Jeff Dixon has migrated back up next to the wall. We saw him make a little bit of a mistake that time through turns 1 and 2. See Cam Barnes there in the 12 trying to get the draft off the back of the 21. 2 laps to go here.
And there's Jeff ripping the top again. It's interesting how he's doing this. He's ripping the top in the corners, but he's going down to the bottom on the front stretch trying to break the draft. But look at the run that Cam just got out of turn 2. He takes over second place.
Best car on the top is the 21. He's your leader. Best car on the bottom's the 12. He sits in second. Barnes now looks to the inside. Will be even through the center of the corner to the 21. Going to try to pull off a slider here. He does it. Cam Barnes takes the lead coming to the white flag.
And here comes Tommy Bordeaux. He's going to have a chance to take second away from Jeff. Can't quite do it. It's going to take an act of desperation, I think, from Jeff on the top to try to make this work again. This time he's going to follow the 12 on the bottom. Interesting move there for the 21. We'll see if he can make it work again in the 3 up top.
Noah Joyce further back trying to make his way to the inside of Steven Merzlak for third. We keep our fourth, rather. We keep our eyes here on the lead. Cam Barnes has it. He's down on the bottom. Jeff Dixon with one more Hail Mary on the outside. It's not going to be enough. Cam Barnes is going to win here in the USORL Cup Series from Anchorage.
Fastest car wins the race here tonight. Jeff was so good up on the top, but in the end, fastest car all the way around the racetrack is the one that takes home the trophy. Great job. Great race all around. That was an intense battle for those last 5 or 6 laps. That was a fun race to watch.
Jeff Dixon takes home second. Tommy Bordeaux takes home third and will take home the Noble Prize. So Cam Barnes gets another victory here from Anchorage. Continues to be an ice-cold killer on this racetrack. He'll be able to park it down in victory lane. Get to do some burnouts here for the fans. After he takes home the victory this evening.
Tommy Bordeaux in the 57 as well take home the Noble 5 prize, as he was the highest finisher of the 4 in contention. So Cam will burn it down. Tommy will take home some cash.
So Cam Barnes, your race winner. We'll move on to our post-race coverage. Get your results on your screens momentarily. Again, folks, can't thank you enough for tuning into JTN tonight. We'll also talk with 2 of our top 3 finishers here. And again, folks, cannot thank you enough for tuning in here tonight to JTN. Make sure if you haven't already, drop a like on the video, subscribe. Again, doing those things does help support us so much here on the JoeTowNetwork JTN. Results incoming, but first, let's get a word from our friends here at the USORL.
For every turn, a twist. For every start, an untimely finish. For every win, someone who loses it. For every number, a nation. For every celebration, a brawl. For every split second, years of work. For every heaven, a hell. For every good old boy, a good old girl. For every curse, a prayer. For every ounce of order, a jug of chaos. For every twist, there's a turn.
Join today at usorl.weebly.com.
Again, back here on JTN, let's go ahead and start by bringing in our race winner. He's the driver of the number 12 Lumar Window Films Ford. He leads the most laps tonight at 28. Had the best car on the bottom, had the best car in our eyes up here in the booth. Driver number 12, Cam Barnes. Cam, you got a copy.
Hey, Joe, how's it going?
I mean, it's going pretty good. How's it going for you, Mr. Winner?
I got the monkey off my back, and I don't know where he's off to now, but he had his bags already packed. So, no, it was great. It was a lot of fun there racing those 5 cars, and it always seemed like I was chasing them down. But when that final pit stop came and I was right behind him, I knew it was over for him.
Yeah, how much of that though? We saw a lot those earlier stops. You decided to stay out a little bit longer than those guys. How much do you think that you pitting a little bit closer to them really played into being able to keep a closer gap?
I think it made a lot of difference just because those guys were able to use the new tires, and since the tire fall off wasn't as dramatic, it still made a whale of a difference, especially if they're side by side. But yeah, I don't know what happened with the 11 there. It just I got underneath of him, and I don't know if he got loose or something, but it kind of looked like he was kept coming down, I guess, trying to pinch. I don't know. I heard 2 different sides of the story. One where we kind of just both were going for the same spot, and another where he kept coming down, and I moved up just a little bit, following the corner a little bit. But yeah, sorry for him, but just got to go out there and keep your head straight and not let that bother you.
I was gonna say, when we looked at it up here in the booth, it really looked like he was coming down. Don't know if that was kind of the line he was running, but you were already there, right? I think that's just like you said, it's something you can't really focus on. It's hard to do, right? But let's talk about that finish, because man, oh man, you're just sitting there waiting. You see the 21 ripping the top. You've been strong on the bottom. It seemed like he had found something up there. How much confidence did you really have in your car working on the bottom compared to the rocket ship he had up there on the outside?
Well, it scared me when I, go into the corner and was able to gas it up pretty quick, and I still couldn't see him. I think it was the first time I've had that happen all day, really, where I just couldn't tell where he was coming. And then suddenly, just somehow, I don't know if he just missed the top, like messed it up a little bit, but all of a sudden I was clear and just kept going, and lo and behold, it was just enough time. But yeah, that was probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen is him ripping the top like that. The move he made to get the lead was pretty insane as well. But yeah, those restarts, that restart was crazy. Just trying to bide my time, and luckily those guys raced really clean, and we had a really good time. And man, they had a good finish behind me. I heard Steven and Tommy were battling for the money, which was pretty cool. So always good to put on a good little show there.
Well, a fun one to watch here tonight, Cam. I'm sure a fun one to drive because this racetrack is obviously a driver's racetrack. Congratulations on the win here, breaking that streak. Before we let you go, though, I want to give you the opportunity. Again, you got a lot of great partners on this 12 car here this year. The floor is yours, buddy.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what to do.
Oh yeah. Just want to thank all the EBR guys, Matt and Cal, the two owners who are so supportive. They don't even bother. So it's just a lot of fun. But no, it's a lot of good fun. And sadly, I was the only car that could make it tonight. But hopefully, in the next couple races, we'll have more of us there, and we'll have a lot more fun. I mean, Zach won last week, so 2 in a row for us is pretty cool. So yeah, it's looking forward to the rest of the season now that I'm back on my feet and kind of everything's squared away. So hopefully give the boys a run for the money.
Well, Cam, again, congratulations on the win here tonight. Again, I know it's a big one for you. Good luck here next week, the rest of the season. We hope to talk with you again.
Thanks, guys.
Cam Barnes, driver the number 12, your race winner here tonight from Anchorage. Go ahead and next bring in our third place finisher. He's the driver, the number 57 TWB Technologies Ford, Tommy Bordeaux. Tommy, you got a copy.
Howdy, Joe. I sure do.
Hey, howdy there. How lucky were you with getting that caution when you did?
No, I wasn't lucky. I was just good.
Okay.
I mean, there's a difference between being lucky and good. Joe, my strategy was so good that I know you thought it was luck. That's how good it was. It fools you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and something that you couldn't have done without, if there were stages or something in the race, right?
Exactly right. God bless America. That's what I'm talking about.
Folks, this is since I know Tommy, I've obviously worked with Tommy a lot. I know what buttons to hit. Let's hit this
sure
button,
do.
Tommy. Strategy here tonight. You elected every single run to stay out longer than everyone else. Was there a time where you felt like you could maybe make it on 2 stops, or was that always kind of outside the realm of possibility?
No, that was always outside of the realm. What the actual hope was one of two things. One, either I was going to pit with like 5 to go, only have to take half a can, not take any tires, make up ground that way. Had things gone green to the end, and that's how it played out, I'm probably still looking at a 6th place finish anyway you slice it. I don't think the gap was small enough for me to make up any ground with that. And the second option was for there to be a late yellow, and I trap some people a lap down where they have to take the wave around or something like that. Unfortunately, tonight, didn't quite trap as many people as I wanted to, and maybe not the right people. But still, that caution benefited me, obviously, and I ended up with a third, which at the end of the day, I don't think on raw pace necessarily I had the car for that. But thanks to the strategy, thanks to getting the track position at the end, and not only did I finish third, but I got to lead a few laps in the process, and it just feels good.
Well, it was a good time watching here tonight. How much fun is a track like Anchorage where you can kind of navigate up and down the banking? Obviously, you are in that big pack at the end. You're running by yourself tonight. How much fun is that? How much fun is it to race here at the USORL?
Yeah, well, it's a lot of fun. That last sort of sprint to the finish, I guess, was fun for a lot of reasons. I think other than, of course, it's multi-groove and everything like that, there's also plenty of room. So, with internet connections being what they are sometimes, and I know you know this, that it can be dicey, but with such a wide racetrack, plenty of grooves, that wasn't too much of a factor. You could just kind of focus on the race and not be too worried about whether or not you're going to appear inside of someone's car in the next corner or not. And ultimately, yeah, it was just a fun time. My car hated the high side anywhere but the bottom. It would not turn throughout the first 2/3 of the turn and then turn too much at the end. So I kind of needed the bottom there, and luckily I did just enough to beat Steven to the line and win the no bull, of course.
Yeah, that noble prize is a little extra change in your pocket to offset some of those costs from flying all the way or driving all the way here to Alaska, right?
Yeah, Alaska. That's right. It's not like we're in Hollywood or anything. We're not in Hollywood where we can just make a nice set for the background and think we're in Alaska. But yeah.
So you're saying this race was faked?
Oh, Joe, you know.
Tommy, a fantastic run for you here tonight. Again, you got a lot of great partners with this 57 crew. You're also chief community outreach officer here at the USORL. So talk about some of that, and also floor is yours to thank all those beautiful sponsors that paint up that beautiful looking Ford Mustang.
Yeah, of course. Well, first and foremost, big thank you to TWB, Albertson Supermarkets, ANA, Airlines, the Spirit of Japan, Kmart, we're coming back, Cadian Oils, High Speed Sober Thoughts, Albert, Tomadre, there are many more. Big thanks to all the sponsors, of course, and then and to you guys for broadcasting as well. Really appreciated that. Yeah, man, if you liked what you saw tonight, you're sitting at home thinking, I want to get involved, go check out the website, www.usorl.weebly.com. There's a lot of information on our different series, schedules, and a link to apply to join the league. If you're 18 or older, welcome to come in. We'd love to have you. So, yeah, thanks for everybody for tuning in tonight, and you guys for putting on the show. P3, baby, woo!
Tommy, again, congratulations on the podium. Can't thank you enough for your time here this evening, and we look forward to seeing that 57 car up front throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Tommy Bordeaux, driver the number 57, third place finisher here tonight. Well, Dewey, I think that's going to wrap up our coverage here this evening. Obviously, a topsy-turvy race for the fans at home, for the drivers out on track, but I think an enjoyable time for us up here in the booth.
It is for sure. We had all that great battling at the beginning of the race and all that great battling at the end of the race. Saw the varying strategy in the middle, and all around, I mean, I think that is one of the coolest races I've watched, I guess, on this channel or been a part of on this channel. All around, it was a great evening.
A great evening of racing. We're going to have more of it later on this week. Started kicking off tomorrow with the Fast Renegade Cup Series from Portland. Don't miss out on that action. At 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll also be releasing that track to the public at the conclusion of the race. So, going to be a fun time there with Fast. We got more great racing action coming up later on this week as well. Make sure you're subscribed to us here on youtube.com/@JoeTowNetwork. You can also click the like button on the video. That does a lot to help support us. And we really appreciate it when you do. When you click like, when you're subscribed, it helps get these streams out to more and more people when they're live and even after their completion. And when you do that, we can start bringing more and more folks into the fold with us here at JTN and give these drivers out here a larger and larger crowd to watch their amazing races like the one we saw here this evening. You can also follow us at JoeTowNetwork on all our social media, at JoeTowNetwork on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Doing so again is that extra step to help support us, and we appreciate it so much. It's completely free to do. With all that being said, a big thank you to Zach Krastowski, the entire admin team here at the USORL, for always bringing us out to these races, being so courteous and nice, and letting us do our thing up here in the booth. I know it was Dewey's first time here in the booth, but of course a lot of experience out there on the track, and I know I speak for a lot of folks. Dewey, you did a fantastic job here this evening, and we're looking forward to having Dewey up here in the booth for more of these. But with all that being said, folks, for all of us here at JTN, for Bristol, our producer, for Dewey Schramm, I've been Joe Twansky. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time live right here on JTN. So long for now, folks.
Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checker. Never mind, they're going to be... Oh! Turn 4 into the tri-oval, Whitehill in through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull.
Jack Healy coming to the line.
Jack Healy wins the ride to